Reserve Anchor's most advanced charging tech for $1 and get 30% off.
Welcome in, everybody. Hope y'all had a good day for Saturday. Took the day off yesterday just because why the hell not? I did some cleaning, rearranging. All right. Welcome in, Benjamin, Julie. Not quite sure what tonight's message is going to be. I'm hoping it's a beautiful one. I'm channeling a song right now. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. I'm really picking up on the fact that people are losing hope. There's a lot of speculations, a lot of changes happening worldwide. I kind of want to look at the lyrics on that. So I'm going to go in and check that out. Just give me a second here. Yeah, it's called Something to Believe In by Poison. Okay, I'll go with the first one. So the first verse, well, I see him on the TV preaching about the promised lands. He tells me to believe in Jesus and steals the money from my hands. Some say he was a good man, but Lord, I think he's sinned. 22 years of mental tears, cries a suicidal Vietnam vet who fought a losing war on a foreign shore to find his country didn't want him back. Their bullets took his best friend in Saigon. Our lawyers took his wife, his kids no regrets. In a time I don't remember, in a war he can't forget. He cried, forgive me for what have I done there, 'cause I never meant the things I did. And give me something to believe in. If there's a Lord above, give me something to believe in. O Lord, arise. Verse 2, my best friend died a lonely man in some Palm Springs hotel room. I got the call last Christmas Eve and they told me the news. I tried all night to break down and cry. As the tears rolled down my face, I felt so cold and empty, like a lost soul out of place. And the mirror on the wall, sees my smile, it fades again. And give me something to believe in. If there's a Lord above, give me something to believe in. Sometimes I wish to God I didn't know now the things I didn't know then. Road, you gotta take me home. I drive by the homeless sleeping on a cold, dark street, like bodies in an open grave underneath the broken old neon sign that used to read Jesus Saves. A mile away live the rich folk, and I see how they're living it up. While the poor, they eat from hand to mouth. The rich drinking from a golden cup. And it just makes me wonder, so why so many lose and so few win? And give me something to believe in. So I already called Spirit to come in. And while I was reading those lyrics, I've been kind of feeling, I don't know, there's a lot of hopeless folk out there right now. Having a hard time making sense of everything going on in the world. Welcome in, Michael. Welcome in, Patricia. Welcome in, Ben. COG, welcome in. There's a lot of people out there not really acting wise. And I was asking my 8-ball the other night, and it pretty well outright told me the world's going to shit. And it's all because of us. Every single one of us. We all have a choice. We all have a choice, and we all have a sovereignty upon the earth. Although our mother and father brought us here, we ultimately gave consent to be brought into this plane of existence. However, coming into this plane of existence, we face a forgetting. And this forgetting is part of the journey. Because it is the remembering of why we're here and how we got here and why we're here. What is the purpose behind it? That is ultimately for us to figure that out. Welcome in, Carr, David. It's ultimately our choice of what we do with this existence and what we do with our life. We have a divine sovereignty about us that we need to remember. Within that divine sovereignty lies a purpose and a reason. And within the current matrix, we're bombarded by distractions. We're bombarded by programs and deception. And for the past 2 years that I've been on here, I don't know, I would say preaching. I wouldn't call myself a preacher. It's been a lot about alchemizing what we've been going through, and alchemizing it to our betterment, not only for ourselves, but for the collective. It takes a lot to stay focused. It takes great courage to speak. And it takes even more courage and strength to heal, particularly from the programming, the deception. And the matrix. Do we want to ultimately become part of the problem, or do we want to become part of the solution? That's the age-old question. A lot of us are so bombarded and so fed up that we just become part of the problem. Because the current matrix gives us no other reason to lash out, because we fail to be heard. And we fail to be seen. We fail to be noticed and recognized. I think that's a lot to do with the chaos that's going on in the world. And I just find it very odd that all these people that are talking peace, that are talking solutions, their voice is silenced, and so is their life. What's the point of having a voice and a mind and a heart? To have those all work together to present something? What's the point of having that if we're not allowed to use it? If we're programmed to shut down our heart and to just click on the autopilot so we don't have to think much, and we just shut up and do our job. What's the point of it all? And yet we wonder why there's so much chaos. We're all trying to find our purpose. Trying to find where we fit in the grand plan. We've been distracted by a great deception. However, that veil is thinning. This is the Great Awakening. And just like some places around the world, there are people starting to stand up and take action. For some, it looks chaotic. For some, it looks righteous. It's inspiring. There's certain countries around the world trying to lead by example and tried to pave the way for other countries to follow in suit. But if we all follow in suit, just like we have in the last 5 to 6 years, just consider the devastation. This is what makes us truly special, the availability to think for ourselves, to turn that autopilot off and actually be critical in our thinking, critical with our emotions, instead of being on autopilot thinking it's all a big, huge joke. Part of the reason why we have so much chaos is because most of us are on autopilot thinking it's a big old joke. And I think we're coming to a precipice in our existence where humanity is awakening to the fact that that doesn't work anymore. And I'm picking up the Four of Cups in the reverse. We're not satisfied, and we know we deserve something better. We deserve something more enlightening. It's one thing to be Jewish, Muslim, Christian, pagan, whatever you believe in. Put your belief in there somewhere. X, Y, or Z, whatever it might be. But what holds us together is the fact that we have a mind, we have a heart, we have eyes to see, we have ears to hear, we have a mouth to speak, and it's up to us to lead by example, preferably in a positive way, in a positive, good intention. Go above and beyond the chaos to lead by example. And I think it's a great test of will to bring about change in an understanding and compassionate way for the world and humanity, to utilize those gifts that we often take for granted. To really develop a understanding of our neighbors across seas, across continents, across the world. And I really think that going into 2026, we're going to see almost a morphing and a transformation of how we utilize those gifts. The Great Awakening is helping us to realize that life is not only a joke if we think of it that way. There's a lot of people going around saying, oh, it's not so serious. But really, I do think that it is. Because if we actually stop taking what we already have for granted, we humble ourselves, we heal our trauma, we drop our ego, at least keep it in check, I really do see a difference happening. And this is why for the last 2 years I've been really pushing it out there that we really need to focus on our own individual healing. Because as we alchemize and transmute the trauma, the pain, the suffering within us, and create peace, our outer world has no other choice but to assimilate to that, due to universal law. By having that inner chaos, it only brings in outer chaos. Whether we are aware of it physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. What brings us to the possibility and the notion that we actually have a lot more power on an individual basis as well as a collective than what we ever thought. And with this great awakening coming in, that's already happening, we do have the ability to create peace on earth. It is still possible. But we are at the precipice of change. There are certain nations going hungry right now. They're being blown to bits. And it's very unfortunate. I choose not to talk about that too much on my channel. And the reason behind this is because I have enough karmic bullshit to talk about. And we see it on the news every day. We see it on our timelines. We see it in our For You pages. We see it all over the place. And back between the ages of probably about 3 to about 9 years old, I used to have nightmares, visions. And I used to ask to project. In hindsight, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. But I seen all this coming down the pipe a long time ago. And I see many different timelines coming into one timeline. If we're not careful, the nations that are in dire devastation, that has the potential to be the whole world. That has the potential to be every single nation upon the earth. So if you think that it's happening over there, it doesn't include me, it doesn't involve me, it doesn't da-da-da-da-da, it's only across the water. It's still on the same planet. And as I've said before, we are the keepers of Mother Earth. We are the guardians of Mother Earth. We are the warriors of Mother Earth. And regardless of what our physical laws obtain to be, we ultimately all individually have universal spiritual sovereignty. It's not only just our mothers and our fathers that chose us to be here. It is the divine light that is within you that chooses to give you life, that chooses to allow you to wake up in the morning, to allow you to open your eyes, to allow you to feel with your heart. It allows you to hear with your ears and understand. We ultimately all individually have a choice here. And our individual choice is what will make or break the current status quo. And I'm calling on the world, I'm calling on humanity to rise above the chaos, rise above the bullshit, and put yourself in somebody else's shoes for a change. Allow it to humble you. Because whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, we all have a choice to make. And we can't very well make decent choices of clarity carrying trauma or pain. It's the same thing with manifestation. It's the same thing with magic. I've always said on this channel that if you're going to manifest something, you're better off to heal first. Focus on your healing. And that requires a cleansing of your chakra system. From your feet to your head. You need to clear out your south node chakras and activate your north node chakras. Because activating your north node chakras is pointless without the clearing of your south node. It doesn't work any other way. And very often, I don't see or hear a lot of people when they're talking about the chakras. They only focus on the upper 7. And they've totally ignored the south node chakras altogether. And I do believe they are the most important because they are what we build our foundation on. I mean, it's in the legs. It's how we get to point A to point B. I mean, we don't get there sitting on our ass. We don't get there with our root chakra. We get there by clearing out the hate, the malice, the jealousy, and so on. If you want to know a little bit more of what I'm talking about, over on the post section here on my page, there's a chakra diagram that you can look at. It'll make more sense to you by seeing that. If you have not referred to it yet, I would encourage you to go check that out. It's somewhere down there on the page. You start from your feet and you work your way up to your head. And what people don't realize, if you have bodily pain, depending on where you have that pain, no matter what that pain is, it will reference what you need to clear out the most. It references where you have those blockages specifically. The divine and your body is a lot smarter than what we give it credit for. And when you take the time to transmute, transform, and alchemize your energetic centers in your body, it's a game changer. And I swear on my life, it's a game changer. Spirit's called me to speak on this before I do the collective. Because I'm not talking shit. I was thinking earlier about the last year and a half, 2 years of me coming on here and calling out a lot of bullshit. A lot of karmic energy. And since then I've been attacked brutally with evil eye, negativity, magic, dark magic. And some days I wonder how I'm even still here. Some days I wonder how I got through it. And I come to realize, if I had not cleared out my chakras and healed my lower chakras, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now. I was thinking to myself today, why have a voice if I can't use it? Why have a voice and call out a whole bunch of bullshit only to get attacked? Am I not allowed to stick up for myself? Am I not allowed to show up for myself? Am I not allowed to call out my abuser for who the hell they are? Am I not allowed to awaken to my fullest potential? And again, am I not allowed to be here and inspire you to do the same? This matrix does not work for me. This is why I'm doing anything and everything in my power to exit the matrix. But it's constantly yanking on my ankles to pull me back in, giving me no other choice but to do so. To submit to the tyranny. When all I want to do is live in peace. All I want to do is be compassionate. All I want to do is inspire the world to become the best version of yourself. So that way we can finally rid the chaos and find peace, not only within ourselves, but within the world. And I understand there's certain people that are here that are not here to awaken. They're here to be empty vessels. I get it. Not everybody's going to heal. Not everybody is open to healing. There's quite a few people out here on the earth that are absolutely stupidly stubborn. And I'm not sitting here talking with my ego. My ego is clearly in check. And when I'm facing adversity, I do my best to be compassionate. I do my best to be understanding. But it really gets old sometimes when I'm trying to show up for the world in my best version of myself, and I've got a bunch of fucking asshats trying to switch me up and pull me back down into my south node, where I don't live there anymore. But the world in the Matrix pulls you back down and almost gives you no other choice. And then they wonder why people are lashing out. Like, I can't seem to catch a break. Because I got a bunch of fucking karmics destroying my jobs, trying to destroy my life, when all I want to do is heal from the trauma and the chaotic programming that my karmic family tried to program me with. To pull the wool over my eyes, thinking that they are going to dictate where I'm going to go, how I'm going to get there, yet I'm the one disrespecting them, calling them out on their shit, whether it be family, friends, or foe. I would sooner speak my mind because they know who they are. I don't have to speak names. I would rather speak my mind as an example and try to alchemize that than sit quietly and just take it. I'm done submitting to the chaos. It's not where I live anymore. And I'm even having a hard time finding a half-decent roommate or people that I could surround myself with that aren't going through some sort of hurt. I'm having a hard time finding people that are of like mind, that are on the same page. It seems like everybody I seem to room with, up until recently, they're all out to get me. All because I'm a little bit farther up the scale on the chakra system than they are. And they choose to carry around hate and pain and misery. And they sit in envy and whatever else, wondering how I got there where I am. Mind you, the current roommate, we're all going through something. We're all going through something. Every single one of us on the planet is going through something. And I'm not sitting here judging anyone. And I do understand it's the pain that is talking. It's not their true essence of their heart and their soul. I understand that. I've understood that for years. But it's hard to communicate that to people. It was extremely difficult to try to communicate that even to my family, let alone my friends. And to where, at one point, I didn't want to live alone. I didn't want to be alone. But it's now to the point where I don't even want to go outside. I don't want people. I want to stay to myself, and I want my solitude. Because at least in my solitude, I feel safe. I feel safe to be able to self-regulate. I feel safe in my own skin. I've learned to love myself again after being ridiculed and judged and put down on my whole life. I've never loved myself so much as I do right now. And I'm very humbled, and I'm very, very much at peace. But when I turn on the TV, when I scroll the internet, when I walk outside, there's an underlying tension all around me. Doesn't matter where I go. You can't escape it. Even out in the forest, it's not the same anymore. Because the last love of my life made it absolutely into a beautiful nightmare, to the point where I don't want to go into a forest. I don't want to go into nature because of that. Because it brings me back to where I was trapped. And they use the forest and nature as a distraction and an illusion to gaslight me. And made me think that I was absolutely crazy. Put me in a situation where my life flashed before my eyes. The last 2 years, people hated me because I got on here thinking that I was judging them. I wasn't calling out names. I was calling out energy, because I know it's not just them. This energy is all over the place. It doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter who I talk to. Everybody's a little bit broken. I was scrolling my feed earlier today, and I come upon this video of a particular person speaking on the fact that children are growing up in abusive households. They get fed up and they ghost their parents because of the abuse. And somehow she is thinking that we're living in a time and space of cowards, because they choose to walk away from their families. They choose to cut them off. And quite frankly, I don't blame you for cutting them off. Because 9 times out of 10, we love our parents. 9 times out of 10, we try to help our parents. And 9 times out of 10, We try to work through it. We try to compromise. We try to heal that. Not only within ourselves, but within them as well. But a lot of our parents came from a generation where there was just programming. They weren't allowed to feel. They weren't allowed to speak. They weren't allowed to do anything but be part of the program. Some of these parents will never heal from this because of the program, because of that machine, because of the monster that it is. And I said never, specifically for the fact that I hope by some miracle they awaken to the truth. Because about 15 years ago, Bieber taught us to never say never, because never will happen. So that's why I said never. Because I want it to happen. I want nothing more than to reconcile with my family. I want nothing more than to reconcile with the different people that I've had a falling out with in my life. But if they're not willing to see, hear, understand, or even take the time to heal themselves, why should I spin my wheels? And why should I go back and accept the abuse for what it is? Why should I go back into the turmoil and the chaos? For what? Just to be abused again? I love myself too much now that I've done the healing and that I've awakened. I love myself way too much. I respect myself way too much than to even think for 1 second to go back and try again, because I've tried and I've done what I can to speak and to compromise and to understand. And now I'm left with maybe 5 people I could maybe count on my hand, maybe 10 if I'm lucky. And 80% of them aren't even family that I speak to, that I can honestly trust with my whole spirit and my heart. Am I supposed to trust somebody on autopilot? Am I supposed to be trusting people in karmic energy? Am I supposed to trust people that lash out at me? Am I supposed to be okay with that? Am I supposed to just submit to that and be okay with that? And just take it off the chin? And do I deserve that? Even so, here I am, trying to be supportive and trying to be compassionate and caring. And is it my responsibility to sit here day after day after day after day after day and talk about this till I'm blue in the face and still get hated on, still get pelted with negative energy and evil eye, still get, all because they're in karmic energy? Am I supposed to take that? Isn't it their responsibility to step into their own sovereignty and heal their own bullshit so that way, as a whole, as a collective, we can start to move forward? Now, don't get me wrong, tribe. I love you too. But I'm talking like immediate people in my life. My family, my friends, my frenemies, my exes, my acquaintances. My tribe is a totally different story. The tribe is world renowned, I guess, worldwide. We're all spread out. And my members and the people that have supported me, you are one finger of that hand. You represent one finger of that hand of people. I've done everything I can. I've spoken here, rerun, 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 rerun. I'm a broken fucking record at this point. How many times do I have to say the same fucking thing and get it across to these karmics? How many times? How many times do I gotta reiterate it and bring it into a different fucking form of English for them to understand? When they've got over 500 videos on my channel that they can watch. My Hipsy here on YouTube and whatever else, my Hipsy link is an absolute fucking ghost town. And they're so stubborn that they won't even go and grab a reading. They won't go grab a coaching session. Because I would help you through it. I would take time out of my day to help you through it on a personal level. We can unpack your shit, take a look at it, dissect it, to the point where it doesn't even look like it anymore. Show it compassion and see how you can grow from it. See how you can become a better version of yourself because of it. I've done it all myself. I can walk you through it. But it's up to you to make that choice. It's up to you to hit me up in my DMs to help you out with that. But you gotta be serious about it. And I need food. I need money to pay my bills. Just like everybody else. But I'll tell you right now, I'm a hell of a lot cheaper than a psychologist. Being healed is a very, very lonely road because there's very far and few between people that are healed, that have actually cleared out their chakras, that are actually standing in good intention. Everybody wants to be in good intention, but the matrix takes over and puts them back into puppet land. And then they wonder why their lives are so fucked up. I've never been at so much peace right now in my life, ever, in my whole entire existence. I have my tribe, my roommate, and the divine to thank for that. Because if it wasn't for my tribe, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. If it wasn't for my roommate, I wouldn't have a roof over my head right now. I'd be walking the streets. And if it wasn't for the divine, I wouldn't be living right now. I wouldn't be breathing, and I wouldn't have my eyes open to the world the way I do. At one point, I had almost 32 members. Now I'm down to 17 or 18 members. Why? Because I'm talking too much shit? I'm speaking too much truth? What, people can't handle the fucking truth anymore? I have every reason to be fed up. I have every reason to come on here and speak what I speak. I have every reason to stick up for myself and stand on business. But it's to the point where I'm not afraid to go outside. I'm just keeping myself out of jail. I'm not scared to go walk the streets. But I don't want to have my life ended because some fucking karmic idiot walking around with the pew-pew, wanting to blow people's fucking heads off. Like an idiot. And somehow, some way, we're now at the brink of World War III? Do I really want to talk about that shit? No, I don't. Do I really want to talk about all this stuff and be shadow banned? No, I don't. I'd rather be talking about bringing peace. I'd rather be talking about good things. I'd rather be talking about things that are going to benefit the fucking planet. I'd rather be able to finish my life feeling fulfilled, that I did a decent job, and that I've inspired some people. But how can I do that when all I've got is fucking karmic messages coming out in my lives, in my readings? And these so-called services around the world, shouldn't I be able to trust my health system? Shouldn't I be able to trust my dental system? Shouldn't I be able to trust my policing system, knowing they've got my back? And granted, there's certain procedures in the hospital that aren't all that great. But I should be able to know that they still got my back, but I can't trust a damn one of them. Why? Because they think about a book. They don't even think about practicality of a life. They just think about what they learned in a book. Certain services are paid off to do a certain job and they just do as they're told. They don't have a fucking brain hooked up. They're on autopilot. So can I really trust that? Ontario, Canada. It's where I am right now. I go and I make a report to the police, and the police tell me to go somewhere that's more unsafe than where I am right now, thinking that it'll be a change of scenery. I already see druggies on the street, homeless on the street. Do I need to go to another province to go see more drugs and homeless on the street? More than I do already? Should I have to go online and find out that our governments are taking the homeless encampments and tearing them all down and bulldozing them and not giving a fuck about the homeless? How about the veterans? How about the veterans that literally sacrificed their whole fucking life for peace? And they've sacrificed their life to go to war, to bring that peace. And then they're left for dead because they have CPSD, whatever else the fuck it is. Anxiety, depression, because of what they've seen. And they're treated like absolute scum. Does that really make me want to go join the army? No, it doesn't. Because why should I go join an army that's going to disrespect me and treat me like a pile of shit? Why should I respect police when they haven't done fuck all for me? Specifically in the last 3 years. To bring some sort of fucking justice. Why should I go to the hospital or go to the dentist to get my teeth fixed when I couldn't even trust the one that fucking betrayed me to begin with? Misdiagnosed me with a whole bunch of shit that didn't even fucking apply. But somehow I'm just supposed to be okay with that. And people wonder, you know, these people wonder why the world's going to shit. People have lost their fucking minds. With greed and power. And I'll tell you right now, the ancestors are rolling in their fucking graves right now. Because they didn't blood, sweat, and tears all these fucking decades and all these years for it to all go to shit. The mass casualties in the last 5 years since 2019, I'm not even going to mention it. The mass casualties that people are dropping like flies because they trusted what certain people were saying. People were fucking mandated, and because people stood up, now they're going to jail for 6 and 7 years. Meanwhile, they let murderers, robbers, pedophiles, all these pathetic assholes out to run rampant and do it all over again. And then people just create a little bit of mischief with fucking bouncy castles and feeding the food banks and feeding the homeless, and they're going to jail. All because they were standing up for their own sovereignty and the right to choice to what they do with their own body. There's something extremely wrong with that. People need to give their fucking heads a shake. And I don't have to name names. They know exactly who the fuck they are. And at this point, I don't know whether or not to be happy or sad about Trump. And yeah, I'm going to mention his name. I don't know whether or not to be pissed off or have utmost respect for that man and RFK Jr. Because it seems like they're the only ones around the world doing anything about the last 5.5 years. There's been more disclosure since he's been in office than there has been over the whole fucking as long as I've been alive. Since the Nuremberg happened, It's been the most disclosure just with the medical system alone. Just simply alone. And then I'm not really too happy with some of the stuff that's happening. Specifically the trans movement. Because it's not a trans issue that they're dealing with. It's a societal issue. Because absolutely every single human that walks the earth has a masculine and feminine aspect to them and who they are. Some are more masculine, some are more feminine. And whether they're a man in a masculine energy or a woman in a feminine energy, that is the status quo of the current matrix. Heaven forbid a man has a little bit of feminine aspect to them, or a woman to have a little bit of a masculine aspect to them. And heaven forbid there's a man that wants to be a woman. Heaven forbid there's a woman that wants to be a man. It's because we all have the masculine and feminine aspects to every single one of us. When they are in balance, you can be a man or woman and still be compassionate. You can be a woman or a man and still be protective. You can be a woman and go join the army and protect our nations. What's wrong with that? That's a woman in her masculine energy. For a man to be compassionate and loving and caring and understanding, that is a man in his feminine energy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I find it absolutely disgusting the fact that people have to have the thought of changing and altering their body in order to become something that they're not, in order to feel comfortable in their own skin, when they could embrace who they are in their own body and be who they are. They don't have to alter their body. But the medical system went all mad science and now is exploiting that whole aspect. And it's programming these people to say, yo, you got to go change your body because you're in this situation. You got to go change your body because you're in this situation. When they don't have to change a damn thing. Haven't you ever heard of a tomboy? A woman in her masculine energy? So what? She wears a hat and blue jeans and a t-shirt. Dudes that want to go wear dresses and parade around in high heels? Who gives a fuck? Do you realize that almost 70% of all the fundraising happens within the drag community? There's been billions of dollars made because of guys dressing up in dresses and going out on stage and making a whole bunch of money, entertaining people. Billions of fucking dollars goes to these charities to better the world. And somehow now they're getting bastardized, ridiculed, beaten up, hung in a tree. There's something clearly wrong with this picture. Across the fucking world. With the judgment and ridicule and bastardization of authenticity. To step into your authenticity, to be who you are, you shouldn't be judged for it. Within reason, do I agree with older people getting with younger kids? No, I don't. But you know what? That's been happening longer than we've ever been alive. That's been happening for over hundreds of years. We're just coming to the realization of that. And men having 7 wives. And polyamory and all this other stuff. Losing the whole sacred aspect of a divine union. And then we wonder why we're having all these fucked up relationships. Because they want to have their cake and eat it too. There's certain things about morality and integrity and authenticity that have been totally taken out of the equation altogether. And it's outright disgusting. A child should be able to grow up and be a child and not have to parent the fucking parents. A child should be nurtured by the parents. The parents should be in a divine union before they even have children. Because when you have a bunch of fucking idiot karmics that don't want to heal and they want to stay in their pain and suffering, and they're making children, all they're doing is making another karmic line. They're making karmic babies. It's hereditary. It's been going on for hundreds of years. And we wonder why the world's gone to shit. Because we're under a hereditary chaos that's been happening over millennia. And this is why we need to step back, heal our own shit, raise our frequency, step into our divine energy, and then be in alignment to our divine union. This is the only way to save the world. This is the only way to change things. It starts with each and every single one of us individually. We all, every single one of us has to take responsibility for it. One of us individually. It's everyone's responsibility. I don't care whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're trans, whether you're lesbian, whether you're asexual, whether you're demisexual. I don't give a fuck. Live your life authentically. We're not all supposed to bear children. We're not all supposed to be in a relationship where we're having children. It's the divine choice. It's the divine authenticity of who we are as an individual. There's an ebb and a flow. Back in around the 1500s, there was a time where a lot of the parents, a lot of the older people were eradicated because of their greed and because of slavery and because of a lot of bullshit. It was erased out of history. But those people grew up and got into power and made things happen. And then things evened out again. But it's all because of the choices that they made back then to make it to what it is now. Ever since World War I, World War II, and soon to be World War III if we're not fucking careful, the choices that we made throughout history are repeating themselves over and over and over again to perpetuate this hereditary karmic cycle. And if you look back enough throughout history, you'll see the cycle. But you gotta open your fucking brain and your eyes to see it. And if you're thinking for any thought that it's not your responsibility, you're part of the problem. Because it's every single one of ours responsibility to show the fuck up. If we all healed and we all stepped into our divine energy, we wouldn't need no stupid digital ID. We wouldn't have to worry about who's making what money. If we all collaborated instead of hoarding the fucking money to be rich, and we actually shared that and we spread it around, there would be no homeless on the street. There would be no inflation. Chances are, there wouldn't even be taxes. We wouldn't be in the inflation that we're in right now if we all fucking healed our shit and held ourselves accountable for the bullshit that keeps repeating in repetitious and repeating. All these billionaires out there and trillionaires, they're disgusting. Because what are they really doing with their money? What are they really doing with their money? They're trying to kill us off because we're useless fucking eaters. How are we supposed to be useful if they give us nothing but chaos? How are we supposed to be useful if we individually don't heal and we're stubborn as fuck and we'd rather sit in our pain and be the victim? How are we supposed to evolve? How are we supposed to step up into our best version of ourselves if we're constantly suffering in fight or flight and fawn and trying to find our fucking footing and find some sort of solid foundation to build on? How are we supposed to make the world a better place if we're constantly in chaos? The only way we're going to change that is if we heal ourselves. But you want to know why we're in so much chaos? Because apparently the people at the top, it makes them money. It creates a health system of sick people. Because with the pain and the suffering that we carry, it creates ailments, and it creates symptoms, and it creates problems for each individual. High blood pressure, high anxiety, depression. The list fucking goes on. If we were all within a healed nation of the world, we wouldn't even need money. Because we'd all be working together. There would be no hunger. We would totally eradicate hunger. We would eradicate homeless. If we stood in our authenticity and we became who we're authentically supposed to be within our heart and soul, the way that the divine held it, we would not be suffering right now. We would not have to question our medical system. We would not have to question our dental system. We would not have to worry about being a psychologist or going to school to be a psychologist. Because everybody'd be figuring their own shit out and healing their own problems. I'm speaking from personal experience. When I have a psychologist come to me and thank me for what I'm doing, that I helped them get out of a really fucking stressful situation, and they send me an email because I helped them change their life. Meanwhile, I've been on a list for over a year waiting for a psychologist to get a green check mark to say that, okay, at least I'm okay. That I'm not gone loopy in my fucking head. That I'm not the fucking crazy one. And they come and tell me I pretty well saved them from offing themselves. I think that's pretty remarkable. The help I've been waiting for over a year, the one that I've been searching for, was always me. The one that I was searching for to complete me, to fill the void, was me. Because I took initiative. I took accountability for the programming and the deception that was thrown at me. And I transmuted that shit. I turned my pain to power. And this is why I'm here tonight. This is why I'm here every single fucking day, pretty well. Minus maybe, at this point, maybe 3 weeks out of the last 2 years. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not giving you a load of shit. I wouldn't be here to give you a load of shit. I've got better things to do than come on here and lie about stupid shit. I might as well just set up a fucking sleep cam and let you guys watch me sleep. I bet I'd probably make more money laying here in my fucking boxers. Like, give me a fucking break. And what? I have to come on here and beg in order to eat? I have to come on here and beg in order to pay my bills? And then I got motherfuckers on here shadow banning me? Because of what? I'm talking shit? I'm calling them out? Because they don't want to heal? Because they're stubborn pieces of fucking shit? But apparently I'm the problem. Yeah, I got a trucker's mouth. My father's been a trucker pretty well his whole life. It's in my genes. I'm on here because I love myself. I'm on here because I love humanity. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what nationality you are. My only expectation when you show up into my chat is to show up right. And actually sit the fuck down and hear what I have to say. That's all. Because chances are, there's some fucking gems in here for you. There's some Easter eggs. There's some clarity. There's some truth. And for the people thinking that I'm a scammer, that I'm all this other shit, they're only projecting of themselves. They're basically outing themselves as a troll. And trolls belong under a bridge. Where they belong, not on YouTube. I've been having visions ever since I was young. I didn't understand it. I would wake up bawling my eyes out because of the devastation. And then at some point, I would sit there around dinner time watching the news. And I'd be watching it on the news. And then me, as a young kid, trying to understand that, how is my dreams showing up on the news? How is what I was just literally sleeping and going through while I was sleeping showing up on the news, showing up on the TV? But it was halfway around the world. I come to realize after the fact that I was astral projecting. I was literally leaving my body, flying around the fucking earth, and checking out what's going on. Seeing bombs flying through the sky, going down and blowing the shit out of countries. This was happening around the Gulf War. The devastation. I could feel the dust in my eyes when I would wake up. There was actually a couple days throughout that experience where I would wake up and I couldn't even open my eyes. It felt like they were dried up shut because of the dust. And it is a spiritual symptom of astral projection. At an early age, I was diagnosed with asthma. Come to find out, they were nightmare-induced anxiety attacks. Because the only time I would ever have an attack where I couldn't breathe was waking up out of sleep. And it's mainly because my body, my spirit was being slammed back into my body because of the devastation I was watching. And my brain and my spirit couldn't articulate it. It couldn't process it. So I'd get slammed back into my body, and that's what I was waking up to. And some of it, I believe that it was also spiritual warfare to bring devastation and trauma to my life. So that way I would not become who I'm always meant to be. Not realizing till later of who I actually am. But I'm not on here boasting about it. Because it's not all what it's cracked up to be. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. People go around bragging about being an earth angel or being a starseed or being a chosen or being, you know, a light worker or whatever else. It's not for the faint of heart. People think it's this great thing to do, great thing to be. It's really not. Because 9 times out of 10, earth angels, chosen, light workers, shamans, they all go through devastation, trauma, pain. And a lot of it is spiritual warfare because of the light that they hold within them. And it keeps them from rising into their highest version of themselves. And this is my fucking protest. Mr. Man, check out the description box, please. Tribe, I just want to let you know that I love you. Thank you for riding with me this whole time. To my OGs. If you guys want a personal session with me, check out the description box or the link section here on YouTube. Become a member. Head over to Hipsy to order yourself a personal reading. If you have it in you to give, I don't want to put you out. But if you have it in you to give, become a member. Level 1 through 4 will get you a reading. Flight Club will get you hooked up with the workshops. They're currently all on hold. You want to be part of the chat when I throw members side up because the trolls are busy. If you become a chat member for $4.99, that'll get you at least to the point where you can chat. But you still get messages. Give or take, depending. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. This is literally the only thing I got left. And without you, I got nothing else. Without you, I lose everything. So the ones that are trying to shadow ban me and the ones that are trying to shut down my channel, you're nothing but a sick bunch of fucking idiots. And I hope you meet your demise. Because that's exactly what you want from me. So may you receive what you give. You want to give evil eye, may you receive it. You want to ruin people's lives, may your life be ruined. May you get what you give. To the ones that bless me, may you be blessed beyond measure of your worth. To me, that's priceless. Just know, anybody that supports me through super chats, through super whatever, a membership, whatever, I'm ever so grateful and humble that you support me and that you're along for the ride. Spirit, what's going on? What's the collective message tonight? Keeper of secrets, nobility, mastery, adventure, and protection. Take time out from the world and be an observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowledge. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you'll find your strength. Nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. You're on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Dare to do things differently. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams and attempt the great journey with confidence. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasures. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. You are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm, and your path will unfold. Persevere, and you will succeed. You have everything that you need to be protected and happy. I go from 12 to 22 people down to 14. I must have ruffled some feathers. Unless y'all getting kicked out. How is it that I got 31 likes, but I got 16 people in the chat. YouTube, get it together. I know I should have more people watching me right now. I'm a heck of a lot better than a fucking sleep cam where there's like 250 people. Whoever's in the back end controlling my channel, I'm not a happy camper with you, whoever you are. May you get what you deserve. And that's not to say anything bad about YouTube. But I know there's people in the background pulling the strings. I get it. Clearly you got your butt hurt because you're not really happy with what I had to say about you. Do it your way. You are complete. Life source. The key. Raise the bar. Wild and wonderful. Welcome in, High Priestess. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to be wild and free force of nature, here to build new and better worlds. Allow yourself to go and do that. Where the fuck do I even start? You are complete. You are not broken. Nothing is wrong with you. Don't spend your life fixing problems that aren't yours. Dwell in the beauty of your being. You are enough. Now and always. When life comes to a standstill, turn inward and focus on joy and excitement. Your inner light keeps everything alive and moving. All you do with ease and enthusiasm is the path to your goal. Actions are secondary. Make the energy within your primary focus. Do not underestimate the little joys. Raise the bar. When you set higher standards for the people and situations in your life, you create space for new levels of joy and abundance. Rise above old patterns. It's time, collective. Wild and wonderful. Why focus on limitations and realism? Breakthroughs and miracles require no linear explanation or method. Unexplainable and illogical magic happens absolutely every day. Welcome in, Angel. Welcome in, Sheila, Renee, Puck, Mr. Man Smith, Adelaide, whoever else I missed. Thank you for joining me tonight. What's the vibe? Drowning over your head, overextended and hitting rock bottom. Awesome. And that's over nobility and mastery. Anybody that's trying to master themselves and be noble, apparently they're drowning. Isn't that odd? It makes total sense with the current matrix. Isn't there something wrong with that picture? I'm also getting that somebody's trying to make you drown. Somebody's trying to get you make you look like you're over your head, you're overextended, and you hit rock bottom. All because you're trying to be noble and master yourself. Isn't that funny? I guess it's not time to procrastinate. Somebody's being greedy by any means necessary, being inconsiderate, all because they feel shattered, broken, nightmares, failures. Isn't that interesting? What's the wise old witch have to say before I get into the tarot? Can I get 3? Intuition and guidance. Come on, wise old witch, wake up. Let's go. I want a message. Just 3 cards. Thank you. The key to the mysteries is adventure. Eclipse and enlighten. So somebody's trying to eclipse the enlightenment with greed, with overwhelm, with procrastination, always keeping you too busy to the point where you're broken and feeling shattered. So that way you don't get the mystery, you don't get the reason, you don't get the purpose. This is part of the matrix. They want to keep it a secret in order to keep the nobility to themselves. Which one do I want to work with? I'll go with this one. Can I get 2 from the Sacred Feminine, Magdalene Oracle? Gratitude on the bottom of the deck. What have we got? Yeah, divine order in the reverse. Isn't that funny? And saint and sinner. Let's see what it has to say. You may be inadvertently sinking into depression because you believe the world around you is in disarray, with all of its suffering, destruction, and war. The world can seem like a woeful place. Yet, as the saying goes, there's a time and a purpose for everything under heaven. Everything serves a purpose and has a reason for being. Otherwise, that thing would not exist. Life is like a divine tapestry. Each thread is vital to the overall picture. However, being a divine tapestry, the overall design only begins to make sense when viewed from a higher perspective. Believing that things are not the way that they should be only serves to keep you disappointed, angry, and fearful. Divine order is definitely visible, but it is only visible through a perspective of love, just as the true purpose of things can only be known by the light of your soul. Your world doesn't need saving. It just needs to be loved. I'm going to turn that one right up. This is the thing, collective. These higher imbeciles don't want us loving each other. They don't want us loving humanity. That's the way I'm seeing that. They're trying to eclipse it. They're trying to create a artificial divinity. Saint and sinner. The assumptions that you are making about another person or event could turn out to be completely wrong. Realize that for every theory, there is a contradicting and opposite one. There may be more to the situation than first meets the eye. You are being advised to keep an open mind and heart. All is not necessary the way that it seems. Remember also that often the judgments that we make about others are also judgments that we make about ourselves. You will not find peace and fulfillment while holding an I'm right and they're wrong attitude. Accept that there's no single truth that applies universally and things will become clearer. I don't know. I'm going to contest that one. There is a morality about it all. It might not be a right or wrong answer, and everything is up to speculation, but there's always a morality about it all. If you can't hold any type of morality, I don't know. But they're trying to hide that within the mysteries, and they're trying to keep the mysteries to themselves, which isn't helping the status quo. It's not helping the collective. And this is why it's so taboo to speak on it, because they want to hold the mysteries to themselves. Why? Because there's a lot of people in karmic energy that don't deserve to know about the mysteries until they heal. There's a time and a process for everything. And I know that. But in order to understand why you're taking the time to heal, to alchemize, to transmute, you have to know what this end game is. To be able to take yourself, heal yourself, step from your karmic energy into your divine energy, things start to make sense. Okay, this is to entice you and to inspire you to heal. This is why I'm speaking on it to begin with. Gonna put an angel card up on the top. Out of all the angel cards, I only want one. Spirit, please. What's the best angel card? For this collective read. Sandalphone, the time is now. This is a moment of acceleration. Go for it. Don't hold back. Proceed. All of your hard work, focus, prayers, and intentions have led you to this pivotal moment. Any hesitation you may be experiencing is just a sign that you're on the verge of something wonderful. This is the time for you to surmount your fears once and for all. Stand in your power. Angels have your back. Activation. I trust when the universe says yes. That's the thing. On my channel, I haven't really ever held back. I haven't ever really gatekeeped anything. The only thing I've gatekeeped, really, are names. Why? Because I don't want to out people. They know who the hell they are. But I'm not necessarily going to out them for who they are, okay? Unless it's significant. You know, and 9 times out of 10, if I'm going to out their name, it's to give them some sort of credit where it's due. And it's not to say that I'm judging them or anything negative. It's just to say that, yo, pay attention. That's all. So just like earlier when I was speaking on Trump. Putting physical pain to rest. Everything I've spoken about tonight would put the physical pain to rest. The loss. Duality. Education. Help. Dharma. Communication. Learning. Learning how to communicate in order to help and educate. To recognize there is no duality. When it comes to loss, in order to curb the physical pain that we feel. Everyone has their own accountability. Everyone has their own individual choice. It's universal sovereignty. Imagine if there was 8 billion people just like me in the world. Similar page, similar idea. There would be no war. There would be no famine. There would be no homeless. That's just a start. I guarantee you, 100% I would put money on it. Welcome in, Whopper. You best be 18 or over. Spirit, what's the best blessed message from my collective? Starting off with the 9 of feathers. So there's a whole bunch of people up in their head wondering what the hell to do with themselves, and I've already told you. If we all gave back to the world, instead of hoarded it to ourselves, I'm also getting like people are losing their self-control. People are losing control due to the greed. The only way to really learn what's really important with the world, within your purpose, within who you are, is to go within. It's about self-empowerment and perspective. Certain people have totally lost control when it comes to communication. The ability to be secure within themselves and to be able to communicate freely, sovereignly, authentically. We need to regain the ability to communicate within our authenticity. We need to learn about the ability to transform. We need to learn about liberation. And transitions to be able to evolve and awaken. The Hermit reversed. I couldn't have said it better. You're either walking around and you're on autopilot, or you're allowing the lessons and the wisdom that you gain through your everyday moments to teach you something. There is no duality with that. It's either one or the other. But we've lost our self-worth. We've lost the ability to love ourselves due to the chaos, due to the tyranny, due to the deception. Is that really our fault? If we're constantly being bombarded, abused, deceived? How are we supposed to make anything out of that? Being in an unstable world, in an unstable matrix. It's like trying to run an engine with no oil. Not going to run for too long. To be resourceful, to be able to prepare, to be strategic. This will curb the pain. To be resourcefulness, be in the energy of resourcefulness. What's the next level? There's a time and a place for everything, collective. To find self-empowerment, to allow the evolution, to give back, and to walk away from that what no longer serves us. Preferably the karmic energy. We need to help each other alchemize the chaos. By showing compassion. Otherwise, we will not move forward. It's not going to happen. We're going to go into some major dark times if we don't. The whole thing is that we don't think we're going to get anything out of what I'm talking about. And that's why I only have 14 people and not 200 in my chat right now. That's why I only have 36 likes and not 150. Or let's say 1,000. Because people think that they're going to miss out by going within and healing that and walking away from that what no longer serves. We cannot evolve, we cannot transition, we cannot find liberation if we do not awaken. If we do not awaken, we're not moving forward. There will be no focus, there will be no insight as a collective. However, if we do awaken and we find our self-worth and a new footing and a new foundation to stand on, there will be stability, there will be an attainment, there will be a 10 of Pentacles. But to bring chaos, to bring strategy, to bring a bunch of sneaky ass bullshit, all the while we're trying to find our self-worth, to find a new foundation to stand on, that's not going to help clear out this cycle. It's going to be perpetuate. It's going to be rerun, rerun, rerun after rerun, rerun, rerun. Might as well be a broken record. Talking about the same shit day in and day out. It's about exposure, about what we need to walk away from. It's about exposure of the instability, of the stagnance, of the not being able to move forward because of stupidity and karmic energy that keeps us stagnant, that keeps us in the machine, that keeps us in this perpetual chaos, constant perpetual chaos. We need to expose it once and for all. But exposing that, making it like we're going to miss out on it, if we do expose it, is an illusion. It's perception, it's imagination. And this is why it's important and permanent to stand in our authenticity and allow authenticity to drive the machine. Because when we are in authenticity, we are loving of ourselves and our community and the collective. We are within the love of humanity. If we're going to miss out and we're not going to move forward, we're not going to recognize the crossroad that we're coming up to, it's going to keep us from making that decision if we do not see it, if we're not going to recognize it for what it is. So are we going to make the decision to, as a collective, to miss out on what was actually meant for the divine collective? You want to know why they call it a chosen one? Because many are called. Every single one of us are called when we are young. But it's whether or not you have enough, I don't know, tenacity is the word? Maybe courage. We all have the ability to be in that 144,000 frequency. But only if we choose to. It's up to, individually, it's up to absolutely every single one of us. There's a lot of readers out there thinking that the chosen ones are only feminine. They're just a bunch of feminists, thinking that they're better than everyone else, walking around with an ego on their face. They need to give themselves a fucking sport check. By not making the decision, by missing out, it's going to keep us stagnant. To the stability, to the attainment, to what's important. The 10 of crystals The stability and attainment requires a creative force and confidence. And that confidence you find within you. We all have the ability to stand up with this Ace of Wands. We all have the ability to stand up and be inspired, allowing our intuition and intention to guide us within our authenticity. Within that authenticity, there's individuality, but there's also a collective energy as well. Micro, macro. We are, within our authenticity, our own universe. Within a bigger universe, within our city, within a bigger universe, within our continent, within a bigger universe upon the earth. Within a bigger universe of our solar system and our star system, and so on. It's about nurturing that. But we need to expose the emotion and the illusion for what it is. And we need to nurture. We need to find comfort. And we need to find prosperity instead of chaos and instability and lack. Seeing the emotion, seeing the perception, seeing the illusion for what it is going to help us make the decision to begin with. To taking the blindfold off, taking the rose-colored glasses off. Seeing shit for what it actually is instead of allowing the illusion to overtake us, to overpower us. In one sense, yeah, maybe it is a revolution, but we don't have to be all chaotic about it. We don't have to be burning down our palaces and our castles and whatever else. There's too much shit going. There's too much chaos to even blame anyone. It's not every one just person. It's not just the government. It's not just the medical system. It's not the security system. It's not anything. It's all of it all together. But who are we really pointing at? We should be pointing at ourselves. Because if we took our own accountability and actually healed, all of these services would become obsolete. And we'd be focused on the well-being of humanity rather than policing everything and cutting it open and altering it and making it into something that they can puppeteer. Oh, look at that. I'm down to 12 people. Some of us are scared that if we make this decision, it'll not only create a stagnance, but it'll keep us from moving forward. What? Into chaos? Isn't that the point? It's about discovery. But what we will discover is that there is a stagnance. There is a moment of pause. There is a shift happening. There is an awakening happening. Courage, enlightenment. If we don't explore, we will never discover. The creative force and confidence within us, individually and as a collective. In order to nurture, in order to create an awareness and to bring about courage and the solutions that we need, we need a renewal, we need enlightenment, we need a great awakening. The truth, it'll piss us right the fuck off, no doubt. Will it put people in their place? Probably. But it will ultimately set us free. This transition is meant to be uncomfortable. But it doesn't have to be chaotic. The fact that the collective, for the most part, the karmics, they have no discipline. They have no determination. Because if they did, they would heal. If they would explore their inner world, they would discover something very, very important, that it's not something that you can walk away from. It will haunt you, not only in this life, but the next life, and the next life after that, and the next life after that, and the next life after that. And if it doesn't haunt you, it will haunt your children. It will haunt your community. It will haunt your neighbor. So this is why we need to explore the inner world of who we are and how it's all made up and how it's all figured out. Because without that inner understanding, you can't relate to anything in your outer world fully. The only way you do that is to look at it from your perspective, look at it from the other person's perspective, and look at it from a higher power perspective. And I'm picking up the Three of Pentacles in my head. So it's a lot about collaboration as a teamwork within yourself and within others as a collective. You can't just expect one person to take accountability for absolutely everything like they did with Jesus. It's asinine. It created a complacency. Jesus wasn't supposed to be worshipped. He was an archetype to emulate. Do not worship me, but follow in my footsteps. If we do not awaken, we will not discover. Thus, we will not have the enthusiasm, which will bring anxiety. The anxiety and not being able to walk away from this because it will haunt your children's children if you're not careful. We will have no other choice but to have the courage and commitment to be in the truth of it all, to stand for truth, to stand for justice. It's the moral thing to do. And there it is, 3 of Pentacles. Collaboration and productivity. Without it, we have no hope. So, collective, it's literally up to us. We can't expect our governments and our medical system and everybody else to fix it for us. We have to band together to make it right. Otherwise, all the weight is falling on one thing or the other, which isn't fair. Are you kidding? We have a hard enough time going to space, let alone creating a shot in the arm. What makes you think we're going to figure shit out? By relying on a conglomerate system in order to make that happen. All it's done is devastate humanity. And it was all under the guise of crimes against humanity. It was it was all guised under population control. To get rid of the useless eaters. Why? Because people are too fucking stubborn to heal, which makes them useless. They're all a bunch of fucking karmics. The stubborn karmics? Yeah. Please, make it make sense. We can't expect everybody else to follow suit if we don't actually understand the situation at hand here. And everything I just said here tonight, but even before I laid a card down, is all being confirmed right here in this reading. So did I stutter? No. If we end up going into a third fucking war, I'm telling you right now, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. Because had we actually stood up and took initiative as a collective, authentically and peacefully, there's people out there getting bombarded because they're out there trying to help people. What the fuck is wrong with that thing? What the fuck is wrong with that problem? That picture. I've been relentlessly attacked for the last, I don't know, my whole fucking life because I sit here with the same mentality of trying to help people. And then we have the dumbass karmics thinking I'm feeling, I'm better than everybody else. No, my shit stinks just as much as yours does. Ooh-hoo, down to 9 people. That's almost a record. So, collective, what are we going to do about it? Really? Because I find it odd that half of the 36 people don't even give a fuck. All because I'm sitting here spitting truth that they can't handle. So why do I bother? Please, enlighten me. Why do I even bother? How about I just quit now? I'll just go start digging a hole. Or I'll call up the karmics. They probably have one dug for me already. As much as I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of things that Mr. Kirk had to say, now they're out there idolizing him. Just like they did with Jesus. It boggles my mind. To no end. And I'm not saying nothing bad about him. You know what? I didn't necessarily watch him all the time. But after his unfortunate passing, I started seeing a lot more of his videos. And he's talked a lot of sense. He talked a lot of sense. To some degree. There's some things that he might have maybe wanted to really kind of ponder a little more, but and you know what? Everybody has an opinion to some degree that somebody else isn't going to agree with, and that's quite alright. Everybody has sovereignty that way. And I know that there's going to be people out there that are not going to agree with what I have to say. It's part of the world we live in. Well, get on over to that main page here on my YouTube here and scroll the live chat or the comment section over till you hit the hype and hype up my video. If I've got 9 people hyping my video, welcome in, Matt. The only way we're going to save the world is if we save it together. And it's going to take the whole damn frickin' world to do it. And it starts by healing ourselves. People are all fucking scattered. They don't know what to do with themselves. Go within. Heal. Heal the trauma, because with that comes empowerment. With that comes clarity. With that comes introspection. Finding out who the fuck you are and why the fuck you're here. Because within your spirit, within your heart, within your soul, there is a calling. Calling out to you to stand in sovereignty, in authenticity. Within that is your purpose. Nobody can turn around and say, oh yeah, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, you're going to be this. It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to any college. It's not up to any teacher. It's not up to any system to tell you what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and how you're getting there. I'm just pointing you in the right direction of your own fucking journey. It's not up to me to tell you where you're going to go or how you're going to get there. It's up to you and the divine. It's what you chose within your own spiritual contract when you come here to Earth, to experience Earth within us, within this frequency. This is the only planet where we are in this particular frequency where we have all these different senses. We have the ability to smell, to touch, to feel, to taste, to see, to hear, to speak. And when you can do all that, you're doing just fine. You just have to align with your purpose. And that requires for you to go within first. As within, so without. As above, so below. As in the mind, as in the heart. Within the body and the higher self. There is no other way around it. There's no shortcuts. There's no easy routes. There's no putting the cart before the horse. There's no doing it half-fast. One step, one breath, one moment at a time. Nothing more, nothing less. What's your question, Jay? And it better be a good one. Welcome in, Yeti. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan in the background. I hope it's not overpowering me or whatever else, but I'm waiting for you, Jay. So flush the toilet and get over it. And then call them out on their shit. It's a natural occurrence. Yeah, they probably did it just to bug you and get a rise out of you. It worked. They accomplished what they wanted. It's 9:50 p.m. here. Isn't tonight supposed to be daylight savings time or whatever? I don't know how if it goes forward or falls back. Not a clue. Renee, you're such a trooper. Jay, what is your question? Are you still here? I'm still waiting for you to ask me the question that you wanted to ask me. Renee, I love you just enough. Just because you said you love us too much. How's that for a good crack? Alright, put your hearts in the chat. Whoever wants a message. I'm feeling generous tonight. I mean, I've only got 10 or 11 people in the chat, so. Pick a deck. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Yeti. You picking one or not? Okay, anybody else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Put your hearts in the chat with a 1 through 7. Did the sound go out? I wonder how many dislikes I have on my live tonight. It's wild because like a couple months ago, everybody and the brother were putting hearts in the chat. Now when I say I put hearts in the chat, nobody wants to put hearts in the chat. And the ones that do, they leave. Like, I don't get it. People aren't ordering readings. So maybe I'll just make this into a sleep cam and I'll just let you guys, watch me sleep. Yeah, but most people can't handle the truth, Renee. And that's the biggest problem. All right, Renee. Spirit, what's the best card for Renee on the deck 7? The reason why your manifestations are not coming in is because you are debating on whether or not you are complete and whether or not to persevere. But what you need to do is make room for blessings to come in. You're choosing to hold on to the past. You're choosing to hold on what no longer serves you. There's something that you need to alchemize, transmute, and let go of officially. Otherwise, your manifestations won't come to be. That's what's holding you back. The thing is, you are complete. There's nothing to fix. You just need to heal. There's a difference. Part of the reason why you're stuck in a rut and it's hard for you to move forward, because it's something that you need to finally see for the truth and release. And again, you got to make sure that you're using discernment as to what you're making space for. So you have to know the clarity behind why you need to let something go, and allow that to help you through this. Like, when I have to let go of somebody, as much as I love them, okay, once in a while, if it's really, really difficult for me to let go of them, sometimes I have to find out what I hate about them. So it's about turning the pain into power. It's about turning the negative into a positive. Right? Because clearly, whatever we need to let go of, it's basically for a reason. But we need to recognize the reason behind it. And it's not to necessarily say that you hate them, but you hate what they've done. You hate what their actions have been, rather than you hating them. Because some of these imbeciles we're going to love for the rest of our life, no matter what they do. Right? Deep down, soul side, they'll always be in our heart, no matter what. But some people, they're not good for us. So you gotta look at it from a negative perspective. If that makes any sense. Phone went blank, now it came back. ER. Pick a deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sheila, is that the one you want? The mystical forest? Is that what you're saying? All right. So you need to raise the bar and do it your way. And maybe you need to hide the fact that you're making a room, but you need to use your discernment as to who you're making that room for. Don't be so open to just allow people in your energy. Raise the bar, lead by example, and know that how Spirit guides you through that is paramount to your experience. But you don't have to tell everybody your business, is what I'm saying. ER, are you still here? Hey, Benedict. And then there was 12. You're welcome, Sheila. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Whoever wants one, put a heart in the chat with a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, Michael. Air Guardian, take time to breathe. Slow down and breathe. Take time to reflect before proceeding further. You are allowing your past experiences to influence your current behaviors, and there is another way forward. You are being reminded to stay high vibration in your actions and choices. Refrain from reacting, for this will only delay your progress and healing. Love is the way. Your activation, I breathe with ease, knowing angels are with me. You want a third too, Benedict? All right. You still here, Benny? Hey, Night Wolf. Healing rays. Healing is not linear. Healing happens today, not tomorrow. Angels of healing are surrounding you at this time. And in order to support their mission of guiding you to a state of wholeness, it's essential for you to move out of resentment and regret and into a state of trust. Trust in the higher powers that are surrounding you now. They are on your team, working with you for you and through you. Your activation, I support my own experience of healing. Pick a card, Michael. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. For the Night Wolf. I already did yours, Osborne. We have 2 Michaels in the crowd tonight. I'll throw you 2 anyway. Waiting on the Night Wolf. I don't know, he might have tapped out. Who knows? Your challenge is to not incur any karma. So use your discernment moving forward with actions, the things you say, the things that you take in. When you say something, mean it. Do what you say what you mean. If you say that you're not going to be going down the rabbit hole and into conspiracy theory things, and you're not going to post it anymore because you feel that you're feeling, I don't know, out of place or off, or that your life is in jeopardy, then act on that. And yes, I seen that post. And I'm holding you to it. Anytime you feel that you're moving in a rabbit hole kind of way, go down an inspiring one rather than a tragic one. Instead of going down a rabbit hole that's putting you in insightful fear or pain or suffering or anger, which they're feeding off of that all the time. If you find yourself moving towards that or being called to that, move into a more positive something. Because I went down the rabbit holes too, and you do end up in a psychosis. And it takes a bit to get out of it. So baby steps. Night Wolf, are you here? Like, when you're in the mood to fuck around and find out, then fuck around and find out. But if you find that you're in a down mood and you're in a low vibration, go into more of a higher vibrational stuff. Like, watch a documentary on something fascinating, but in a positive aspect rather than a negative one. You know what I mean? Like, conspiracy theories are fun to look at and watch and stuff, but I tend to not really give them any validity. Like, unless there's like multiple different sources to that particular conspiracy theory, And there has to be like concrete sources that this is actually a situation. This is actually happening. If there's not multiple different sources coming around with a slightly different opinion or whatever else, or you know how you know what I'm getting at? If there's not multiple sources talking about the same thing, I usually think that the conspiracy theory's tripe, and that it's like, yeah, okay, probably not applicable. It's basically there to incite fear, and they feed off of that fear. And then not only do they feed off of that fear, but it puts it into a perspective that isn't going to help you raise your vibration. And your main priority should be healing and raising your vibration. So look up frequency sound, look up affirmations, meditation music, and tap into that stuff more so than, or a different subject, like fascinating subject, something that you want to learn about, but in a positive aspect. Like even a manifestation, like instead of thinking, tapping into the doom and gloom, go watch The Secret. Go watch stuff about manifestation. Go watch about things that raise your vibration instead. So that way you're combating it and you're transmuting it. And that way you're taking control of your intake, of what you're taking into your subconscious. On that note, everybody, considering there's only 9 people, and there's what? Maybe 3 or 4 people here that are actually legit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Because the other 4 or 5 people, they're not even talking. So they're just lurking gherkins. Sweet and sour pickles. It says 40 on your end? Really? It says 9 here. Are you talking likes or are you talking people watching? Yeah. You got it the other way around, Renee. It's showing 39 likes and 10 watching right now. It's okay, Renee. I'm a little bit dyslexic too. No biggie. No judgment here. But it's still saying 39 here as far as likes. So And then there was 12. Alright, collective. I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. For the ones that are kicking it with me here. Not including the lurking gherkins. I think they're rude for not even talking. Or joining in the chat. They just want to sit here and lurk. And I get it, some of you are on the TV and you can't chat, and that's fine, not a big deal. I don't count you in like that. You're not included in the mix. The ones that can't chat back, I can understand. The ones that don't look into the chat, I'm okay with that. It is decidedly so, Benedict. I have a feeling you got better coming in anyway. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm gonna head out, guys and gals. Thanks for joining me tonight. If you can't be good at it, be good to yourself. So that way you can be good to others. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.